81 on Sunday. The front stalls will go with an isolated shower threat. The front, it is attached to a very powerful storm system coming across the central U.S. Heavy snow, parts of Nebraska, South Dakota, Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin. Nasty storms tonight. Tornadoes of potential mid-Mississippi Valley, including Memphis and the southern suburbs of St. Louis.
That breaking news this morning, at least 50 people have been killed in the town of Mayfield, which is located in southwest Kentucky from a tornado. Now we're getting a closer look at the damage this morning. It's part of a powerful storm system that raced across the central U.S. Friday night, prompting several tornado watches. The governor of Kentucky says the extent of the damage in certain areas is tremendous.
The damage is significant, and we expect multiple fatalities. Graves County, and specifically the city of Mayfield, have been hit really hard, and we are still awaiting more reports of the surrounding area. This is going to be some of the worst tornado damage that we've seen in a long time.
Now, at least one person was killed and several others were hurt after a tornado hit a nursing home in northeast Arkansas Friday night. Severe weather also damaged an Amazon warehouse in Edwardsville, Illinois, which left many employees trapped inside.
FEMA says they're also in contact with state emergency management officials as more tornado damage reports come in. Let's get back now to certified meteorologist Amy Sweezy joining us live now from our weather center. So is this something you're still concerned about? Where are these damaging systems now?
Well, the good news is it's actually weakened significantly. The leading edge right now, Sharon, you can see on the radar, is making its way past Atlanta. So there has been some heavy rain. There have been a few thunderstorms, but not nearly as intense as it was last night and early this morning. And then back behind here, you can see there's still quite a bit of rain that will be rolling through. That's the Atlanta area there. Now, on this side of me here, you can see this cold front that it's making its way through. That's what the rain and the storms are all about. It's because of this front where the cold air meets up with the warm air, and that's what's kicking up the showers and storms. When that front makes its way to central Florida tomorrow, it is going to weaken significantly and only bring just a couple of showers to us. We'll talk much more about that coming up in just a couple of minutes.
As the sun comes up, the damage left behind from this tornado becomes even more evident. This section of brick wall back here is all that remains standing of a Mexican restaurant. As we make our way over here by the bypass, this is just a small picture of the destruction left behind from the tornado. The National Weather Center in Louisville says when the tornado came through Bowling Green, what was left behind was considered EF3 level damage, with winds from the tornado reaching upwards of 150 miles per hour.
You know, one of the tornadoes that came through the Bowling Green area took everything in its path. Spectrum News 13's Emily Braun is there on location. Emily, NWS is actually coming back out to look at whether or not there was more than one tornado in Warren County.
They say the damage caused here was one tornado, but there may have been one or even two more to have hit Warren County. Right now, we're looking at an apartment complex heavily damaged by the storm, and also cars as well. I mean, take a look here. There's debris stuck inside this gas cap, as well as shattered windows and a rear view mirror that's completely bent off. A big portion of the bypass has been shut down because of the level of decimation here, but not just here. Earlier this morning, we saw downed power lines creating a barrier blocking off roads. Officials say to get from the east side to the west side of Bowling Green, you have to use either Campbell Lane or Fairview. But let's talk about loss of power and internet as well. A lot of businesses in town we visited are right now cash only because their card payment system is still offline. Utility company Warren Rec has been working hard to restore power. They say as of 7:15 last night, they were down to 2,831 members without power. That was a big improvement from the more than 8,000 who were without power Saturday night. There's lots of stories here of local schools serving food to the community. Blood Assurance hosting a second blood drive this morning because the one they hosted yesterday was so successful, and hotels offering up rooms to people whose homes were damaged by the storm. Just so many stories of people helping people here in Bowling Green.
Although many businesses and offices in the heaviest hit areas were closed today, employees spent their day off volunteering to help take care of others. Spectrum News 13's Emily Braun has a story of one woman who rallied a team to do just that.
Hold it towards the middle.
December 13th, just about a week away from the shortest day of the year. Not a lot of daylight to work with. So Jessica Wells and her team of volunteers are working with everything they've got.
We have a work girl that lives on the street, and we just offered to go help with our house, and we saw them working. So we decided to stop and help.
Monday marks a usual work day for Wells, who works over at a dermatology office. So she's in the business of cleaning pores, but she's also no stranger to cleaning out storm-damaged homes.
We're just trying to get this house cleaned out.
When tornadoes hit Tennessee,
We helped with it then, so this is my second time, unfortunately.
both times she says there was no hesitation or second thoughts, just a powerful calling.
You just have to do it. You just have to have empathy and respect, and you just do it and hope that you're helping somebody.
So she steps up, working hard and fast. She says that's really the only way to work through the heartbreak of a disaster like this, while giving hope and healing to others.
We've had several people affected that we work with, so if we're not here doing it, then I just don't think we're doing the right thing in our hearts, you know what I mean? So.
Reporting in Bowling Green, Emily Braun, Spectrum News.
All right, Bowling Green was one of the areas hit the hardest by these weekend storms. Our Emily Braun from Spectrum News 13 has been in Kentucky for days now. She shows you where things stand there this morning as many people are still without power and the temperature is cold. She kicks off our team coverage.
We've got one generator right here helping to create a little light on a very dark and storm-damaged street. FEMA has actually donated dozens of generators across the state, and that's just one way they're helping give a little bit of light to Kentuckians in need. FEMA also delivered 30,000 meals, 90,000 bottles of water, 4,500 blankets, 2,100 cots, and other crucial items to help Kentucky families.
Bowling Green was one of the hardest hit areas. The NWS now says there were at least 2 confirmed tornadoes that hit that area late Friday night into Saturday. The first was rated an EF3, the second an EF2, just powerful, powerful. One of them had wind speeds recorded up to 150 miles per hour. Emily Braun is in Bowling Green this Tuesday morning and shows us the devastation.
The NWS will be back out here today, but right now we know hundreds of homes and businesses were destroyed by the tornadoes that came through here. Where I'm standing used to be a liquor store, and now there's nothing left except a little bit of beer and a lot of broken glass. The Bowling Green Police Department says there are still about several thousand people in the city without power. About 28,000 people across the state are still without power as of last night. But help is pouring in on a local, statewide, and federal level. As of yesterday, Governor Beshear said more than 44,000 donors have contributed more than $6.2 million to the WKY Tornado Relief Fund. FEMA and the Salvation Army have delivered thousands of meals to families in need. And people who live here in Bowling Green have been out in droves, making the most of what little daylight they have this time of year while still trying to process what happened.
Oh, it's overwhelming. I'm really emotional from all the response that I've seen from all the people yesterday, and I was compelled to come back out here and help again today just because of that. Humbling experience.
Area utility companies are still working to restore power to several thousand people in the area, but they've been able to make a lot of headway on that since the storms first hit. Governor Beshear said yesterday at least 74 people died as a result of the tornadoes across the state, and we know 12 of those people were here in Bowling Green.
People living in Bowling Green say they'll take any help that they can get with a cleanup process that's been so daunting, as you can imagine. Spectrum News 13 reporter Emily Braun is in Bowling Green. She's been there for days now, and this morning she shows you why there's a long road ahead when it comes to rebuilding.
We first showed you the remains of this Mexican restaurant on Sunday, and it looks the same now as it did then because there's so much cleanup to do. It may take several more days or even weeks before volunteers and crews are even able to get to this. It's also because this is one of many. More than 500 homes and 100 businesses were damaged from the storms. Crews and volunteers have been out here all day these past several days, starting to chip away at some of the storm cleanup. But those I spoke to say it's going to take a lot of time and effort to rebuild their city.
If the president comes down here, all for it, I guess. I don't know what he's going to do, if he's just going to talk to him, give him help or something. I know Bowling Green's going to need it to all this insurance money, and we don't have any money to help everybody out. Like, this is probably millions of dollars worth of insurance money.
That's why they say they hope the president's visit brings even more attention and help to their area. Governor Beshear said as of yesterday afternoon, the WKY Tornado Relief Fund was nearing $10 million, with more than 66,000 donors contributing to that. On a local level, there are blood drives, food giveaways, and supply giveaways happening today, and which have been happening for the past several days. Schools in Bowling Green are helping out with that, but they will remain closed until the start of the new year.
On day 5 of tornado recovery efforts, volunteers and staff members with Bowling Green Schools and its nutrition department are still full speed ahead on getting affected families fed. This after learning 3 of the 15 deaths were children in Bowling Green schools. Spectrum News 13's Emily Braun shows us how they're staying busy while still trying to process the grief.
Angela Brummett stuffs bags and boxes with healthy meals. Usually, she's got a different reputation.
Yeah, they call me the candy lady.
She sees kids' smiling faces in school as she serves them lunch for the day and hands out a little candy if they've been good.
They love it.
And she loves them. She knows many of her kids aren't smiling right now. Some of them were personally affected by the devastating tornadoes that came through Friday into Saturday. And 3 kids in Bowling Green schools were killed. So you see everyone here working hard. Their bodies are moving fast, but their minds are numb.
It's paralyzing. It is for me, and I know several of my team as well. So when this is all settled down and people are where they need to be in a safety manner, I think it'll hit me at that point.
For now, Dala Emerson stays busy, making sure each bus is packed with food and drinks, sending them off and all over the community to reach families. All the while, overseeing the process, she keeps her personal blinders on.
Being that I'm the one coordinating the food resources, I can't allow myself to stop and think about it.
In this role Brummett is in now, she's still serving lunch, but she knows she's really serving hope and comfort during a time when the kids that call her the candy lady need some sweetness more than ever.
It's good just to be able to do it for the kids and make sure they get stuff to eat, especially if they lost their home.
Reporting in Bowling Green, Emily Braun, Spectrum News.